Hey guys, you've clicked on an excellent video here. Today we're doing a 32 by 18 backyard patio. We're adding on to this pool deck we did a few years ago. But the best thing about the video is you're going to get to see me use this awesome piece of equipment here, this huge power buggy from LHD. So LHDmachinery.com is where you can find this. My friend Tony Abrams brought this up from Indiana all the way to Maine to let us use it this summer. This is a 27 cubic foot bucket, so it'll hold up to a yard of concrete. Now, I was only filling it about half, 3/4 full because this is one of the first times I've used it this summer. But this thing was amazing. It had so much power, and it was really fast. I mean, I was being careful, number one, because I had to go through that small opening in that fence back there. But I just was being careful because it was really my first time using it. And, you know, I was getting used to the joystick on it, the controls. That bucket, not only will it dump straight like that, but you can turn it 90 degrees left or 90 degrees right. So you can dump it off to the side of the buggy, if that makes sense. And I'll show you that here in a little bit in this video where we dumped over to the side. But so the owner here, he wanted to extend the pool deck, right? To build, you know, he's going to put like a gazebo on this or something with a bar top and all that. Plus he wanted his pool pump equipment up there in the back corner to the right of that shed. And he also wanted a concrete floor in his shed, which is what we're doing too. So we came up, we prepped all this, we formed it. It actually slopes away from the pool deck towards that white fence about 3 inches, even though you can't really see that in the video. He got it all dug out. He kind of graded it himself, and then we came up, did the forms, did the rebar, you know, set the grades, all that stuff. So we're going to smooth trowel finish. We'll hand finish inside the shed, and then we'll broom finish this patio. You'll get to see that in the video too a little bit later. But what I really wanted to show you was how nice this. Here I am dumping off to the side a little bit, right? I turned that about, I don't know, 45 degrees, I guess, from straight on. Turned it off to the side. So that make that easy. Now the concrete truck's right on the other side of that fence, so I'm just driving straight kind of into the chutes, then backing up. Pretty tight area for my first use, actually, but I've used power buggies with tracks and a joystick before, just never one quite this big or with this much power. So there was a little bit of getting used to that, but once I got used to it, things ran pretty smoothly. This thing holds a ton of concrete. Now we're holding that plastic up because whenever you dump concrete out of a bucket like that, it splatters a little bit. I don't care what your machinery you're using. So we just didn't want to get any splatters on the house, on the shed, on the other pool deck, and have to worry about cleaning them off later on. So we're being kind of careful, just holding that poly up just to keep the splatters down. So for me, you know, that we got 2 trucks coming. We'll dump this first truck out. We got a grade pin in there we're kind of going by. And then we'll show you how we screed this down with that slope. But it was about an hour's ride up here for the concrete trucks. And, you know, pouring out of a power buggy like this, it isn't quite as fast as if we had a pump up here and we were dangle pumping this. It's not quite as fast, right? But one good thing about it is you don't have a mess to clean up afterwards. Whenever you have a pump truck, there's always some concrete left in the hopper of the concrete truck. So you got to figure out how you're going to deal with that. And then a residential place like this where there's no place to just dump it, you know, you got to make considerations for having to clean up that, you know, whatever it is, half a yard of concrete afterwards. With a power buggy like this, there's none of that, right? You just dump the concrete into the buggy, you dump out what you need. If there's any left over, the concrete truck just takes it back to the concrete plant, dumps it in the pit, you know, and then they crush it later. So that's one kind of advantage of using the power buggy like this and not having to waste. You also have to order an extra yard of concrete when you use a pump truck just to fill the pump truck. So you save on, you know, a couple $100 of concrete, cleaning up the mess afterwards. Yes, it might technically be a little bit slower, but for something small like this, it's not really that big a deal. So that's the first truck right there. I believe we had like 2 7 or 7.5 yard concrete trucks showing up. That's the first one right there. Get that all dumped out, get it screeded down. Got inside the shed all done. and now onto the second truck. One nice thing was it was pretty hot there this morning. This is like 6:30 a.m. in the morning, right? And the sun's still coming up, so there's a bunch of trees here. It kind of put us in the shade for quite a while. So that made it nice. If you guys know what pouring in the heat is like. So it's a process, right? Back and forth, back and forth. I could have loaded that thing right up with a yard of concrete and made 7 dumps with this, right? 7. This thing holds a yard, but you know, sometimes you don't want to get any spillage over the tops of the buggy as you're moving this thing back and forth. So I try to keep it down a little bit, you know, 6 or 8 inches from the top. So I'm probably dumping around 3/4 of a yard of concrete every time. And I'd have to say the concrete was a little bit hot, you know, driving an hour to get here. Probably that second truck sat out there and waited for us to get the first truck dumped for a little bit. So the second truck was a little bit hotter than the first truck. The slump we're pouring is a little stiffer than normal. It's probably around a 4.5, 5 slump. You can see the boys screeding it right there. They're having to put a little bit more downward pressure there to get the screed really nice. But being in the shade, you know, we knew that we had plenty of time to get back on this thing. So we're going to mag float it out twice. We're going to saw cuts. We'll saw joint cut this later on. We're not going to hand tool joints in this. We decided just to saw cut it. We got another job we can go to right after we get done brooming it. We'll let it set up for 4 or 5 hours, then come back and saw cut the joints in this. And here we are, all poured. Boys are cleaning up everything. And we didn't have much time really, you know, between getting back on this first truck, getting it floated out. You can see the sun's kind of hitting that first truck a little bit already. So Eric jumped on a pair of skids. You know, we got around the edges. We're just getting that first truck kind of floated out. Getting inside the shed area. We had a little bit of time on the second truck before we had to get on it. But it wasn't long before we got on the second truck and then jumped right back on the first truck. Got that floated out. Now there was a little bit of a challenge with the broom, right? We put both float handles on the broom, so there's 6-foot long handles. This is 18 feet across, so you need at least 3 of them. And we had to deal with the fence a little bit with the broom handles. We didn't want to run the handle into the fence. When you pull a broom, you want to pull it back nice and slow and easy, but one steady pull all the way back. You don't want to stop and start at all. And it was been a little difficult to pull it towards the pool, right? Because you don't want to walk into the pool on top of the cover. So you can see us right there setting that down. I just had to keep an eye on the top of that fence. I didn't want to run the handle into the fence. So we pull the broom, clean off the bristles, pull it again, clean off the bristles. We like cleaning it in between pulls. That way it doesn't, I call it snot up on you. You don't get these little concrete balls all over the surface that do break off later afterwards. We just don't like the way it looks. So we'll clean the broom off. And then when you pull it, you get a really nice, clean, tight looking broom finish every single time. And it just saves you from having to clean off anything later on after the concrete sets up. So look, if you want to learn how to do this stuff, you can join the Concrete Underground. That's my training area. There's a link for that down in the description of the video. I teach you how to do concrete like we do, all kinds of training courses in there. There's also an option in there for lifetime access. If you want to come work with us for a week and be right here on jobs like this, you can join that lifetime access portion of the Concrete Underground, and then we can schedule a week where you can come up and work with us. But learning hands-on, definitely, like learning online can kind of teach you the concepts, right? Of the steps and the stages it takes to learn how to do concrete. But being here with us, feeling the concrete, having a mag float in your hand, being able to smooth out the concrete, working on screeding a little bit and bow floating, maybe even power troweling, you just can't duplicate that online. You can learn about it, right? You can learn about the knowledge about how to do it, but getting the feel for it is definitely something that hands-on is a bonus. So here's the last pull right here. I'm going to pull this thing one more time. This time I had plenty of room to walk, you know, back by the pool on that other deck that we did. So one nice last easy slow pull like that, and that finishes off the broom marks. And then we're just gonna run the edger around the edges and kind of clean up the edges, make them look really nice afterwards. So look, I'll have a couple other videos pop up here if you want to check them out, and I think they'll pique your interest. If you have any questions, just leave it in the comments. I do my best to answer them. If I get a lot of comments in there, and I put out a lot of videos, but if I can, if not, just try to reach out to me if you have a certain question. And then we'll see you on the next one, guys. Thanks for watching.